Next up, Ben Clapper, Amber Bradford, Caroline Meehan.
I'm Caroline. I waive. I'm just here for information.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. And what about Nicole Dejean?
Mr. Chairman and members, my name is Ben Clapper. I'm the director of Louisiana Right to Life, and I've distributed some information for all of you, and this is really just some background information from what you heard. But right now, Louisiana funds what's called Alternatives to Abortion at $1 million per year. You also, in HB1 last year, added another $1 million, but it hasn't been spent by the Department of Children and Family Services to date. But I'd like to call your attention to that chart that I'm passing out. Currently, this program started in 2002 in Louisiana, and it was funded at that time by $1.5 million. So right now, Louisiana spends less than it did when the program began in 2002. Currently, Texas spends $50 million a year, state general fund dollars, Florida $25 million, Tennessee $20 million, Ohio $13.5 million, Missouri $8.6 million, Oklahoma, which has fewer citizens, that has a smaller population than Louisiana, spends $4 million more than we do by far. So, and I've added in that chart the adjusted for the state's population. Obviously, we're one of the most pro-life states in the country, but maybe in terms of what we're doing as a state to support our pregnancy centers who are on the ground, helping mothers before birth and after birth, as you've seen today, and as Amber also will share as well, we're behind other states, and we are advocating and encouraging you to strengthen that. Right now, Senate Bill 278 by Senator Jackson Andrews and Chairman McFarland will be heard in Senate Health and Welfare today. Our request is that in HB1 you fund that bill's new program between $4 and $7 million. The adjusted of the Texas amount, obviously, I'm not asking for $50 million, but we'll certainly take it if you're interested. But. Yes. But adjusted for Louisiana population, that's $7.8 million. So to match what Texas is doing. So we believe with the program supports 4 key services: counseling and mentoring, classes that improve the parenting and pregnancy situation. These classes go up to the child's 3rd birthday. So this isn't just about before birth. It's all the way up to the child's 3rd birthday. Material distribution of resources and diapers, all the other, maybe maternity clothes. It may be you can maybe tell more about that. And then referrals to other important situations. So, for example, with $7 million, we believe this program, which is only currently serving 11 pregnancy centers, and there are over 30 in the state, we believe those 30 centers, those that are willing, is going to help serve over 17,000 clients, provide over 1.3 million minutes of counseling mentoring with a mother or a father, provide over 66,000 hours of classes to all of that population to improve the pregnancy and parenting situation, distribute over 140,000 material items, and give over 165,000 minutes of referrals to various agencies. And I have more of that data if any member would like more information about that. I can also discuss the bill further. Maybe it will get referred to this committee at some point, and we would be back here. But we have the chance to strengthen that care and support for mothers before birth and after birth. We believe this can help address the maternal and infant mortality crisis in the state by creating these relationships, as you've seen, with women and fathers in our state. So thank you very much, and I'll defer to Amber.
Good morning. I'm Amber Bradford. I'm representing Seeds Women's Center in Minden, Louisiana. 17 years ago, I walked into a crisis pregnancy center. I was scared. I was angry at myself. I was hopeless. And see, the night before, I had gone to my parents' house to tell them that I was pregnant. I was not married. I had not planned to be pregnant. And in fact, I had planned to have an abortion. See, 17 years ago, I had no idea that there was a place that I could go that could help change my life. That's a place, that are open arms and open hearts that helped me choose to keep my child. I have a 16-year-old daughter named Isabel. I chose life. And for 2 years, I attended the pregnancy center. I attended classes. I received guidance, parenting classes, and things that I couldn't afford to purchase, like Ben was talking about, to clothe my child, to diaper my child. I received a crib. I received not only those material things, but support and open arms and love from a pregnancy center that I didn't know what I was going to do. And I had no plan to be pregnant in my life and have a child. So just a little picture. This is my daughter. She has her world geography test today, so she is not here. I made her stay home. But I will tell you, not only did the bottles and the diapers and all the help, but the pregnancy center saved not only my child's life, but my life, because I was in a rut and I didn't know what to do. And having an unplanned pregnancy, you don't know what you're going to do or how you're going to face everything. So I want to tell you all that to tell you that for 2 years, I am the director and CEO of Seeds Women's Center in the friendliest city in the South, Minden, Louisiana. I can go into our center and I can see the ladies, and they can see in their face, and their eyes are filled with tears. They don't know what to do. And I can honestly look at them and sit them down and say, it's okay. I was there. I made it. I was in your seat. I didn't know what to do or how to do it, but I am here, and we are here for you now to help you with those classes, to receive things that you need for your baby. But not only that, to help you refer to other things in the community, like getting a job, helping you find a doctor. So this year, just this year, we've already seen 59 clients. Our center is very tiny. We have 3 in staff and lots of wonderful volunteers. But I would not be able to do that and be here where I am today if it wasn't for the center that helped me, who had an unplanned pregnancy, who now has a 16-year-old daughter who is amazing. And I will tell you this, that she is a go-getter, and I hope for a couple of years she's going to be here changing lives and helping babies too. So I ask for this too, as a woman who has sat in the same shoes as those women that we serve at pregnancy centers all around the state. This is why we need it. I wouldn't be here today, so I sit here and plead with you to please make this happen. This is a huge, huge need. More than ever, our center has grown 86% since the overturning of Roe v. Wade. We went from 41 clients to come into our center to 311 last year. It is huge, and it is a huge need. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much. Representative Freiberg is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Good morning. I have a question that you may have partially answered just now in some of your testimony. I'm curious about when you talk about referrals to agencies and so forth. I think it's very critical that children have daycare and education in early childhood centers, and as you said, are able to go to work or able to get education to go to work. How is that a focus of all of the centers to try and help women find daycare and educational programs for their children so they can be productive members of society?
I can't speak for all centers, but I do know that we partner, since we're in a very small town, we partner with all the daycare centers, child care assistants, and in fact, DCFS also. We help foster parents as well. So yes, we believe that choosing to have your baby, for one, is amazing, but also learning to parent that child and bring it up the right way. And the best way is to have a learning center, not just daycare, but a learning center involved. So we do have a huge list of referrals, as I know that Kathleen also does too at her center, that we say, here is the whole list, and please call these people and please tell them my name and tell them that, you are a client at Seeds Women's Center and that we can help you get on that way.
I think that's wonderful. Mr. Clapper, is that true of all 28 centers?
Well, certainly every center is unique and different. Some centers, I would say yes. The answer is yes. Now, there may be different ones may do it in different ways. Some are in more urban settings, but some do have a bigger focus on medical services. So everyone does differently. But I believe the beautiful part is that each of these centers are walking with these women before and after birth, and it almost becomes a mentoring relationship where it's helping to not only support the birth of the child, but also to put the mother and child and hopefully father on the best path to success.
What's the average number of women you would have in a center at any given time?
Usually 7. We only do
7.
a pregnancy test and our ultrasounds on Mondays and Tuesdays, just because we are so small and we only have 3 in staff. We have several volunteers. Just Kathleen can help.
Is that pretty
That is not
typical throughout the
We're
state?
just very small.
So different centers operate at different capacities depending on the area that they're in. So for us at any given moment, depending on what clinic looks like, we may have 8 women in a center at a time in Ruston. If you're in a Baton Rouge location or a New Orleans location, you probably have a higher volume of clients. So it really does reflect the communities. The DeRidder Pregnancy Center is going to have a fewer at a time because they have a smaller staff and they're serving a smaller area. So.
And did I hear you say you're sort of with these women for at least 3 years, or how?
Again, it depends center by center and staffing and the local resources that are available. So if you're in a smaller area and there's not as many resources, those pregnancy centers tend to fill in the gaps in their centers, in their communities, and add services that make sense. But yes, we see clients in our particular facility up to 2 years, some of our programs up to 3 years.
Okay, thank you for your service. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you. Representative Carrier is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Ben, thank you very much for what you do. Ben will come out to your house and talk to you. My firstborn was mentally challenged, profound actually. She couldn't talk, she couldn't walk, she wasn't ambulatory, but it was the best thing that ever happened in our lives. We had a baby for 36 years, and I miss her every day. But Ben, you might want to tell them about the little baby feet I have on, and thank you for loaning me one. Ben came to my house and brought me hundreds of them, and I've been bringing them to churches and dispersing them for a year now. And I can't say enough about you and where you are and how much you travel the state and help us with that, because thank you very much, Ben.
It's my honor and privilege. Representative Carrier, I appreciate you and your dedication and sharing your story. Representative Carrier faithfully wears the Precious Feet pin,
Absolutely.
which are this. I don't have one because you're wearing mine right now, which is
By the way.
fine. Yeah. But it was free. No exchange. But it's the size of the unborn child's feet at 10 weeks after conception is the Precious Feet pin. Just one follow-up, and I'm sure he can give you more if you need more. This program would, the way we're structuring it, if the funding's in place, it will allow all these centers to provide these services that we listed up to 3 years after birth. So that's we mentioned that because that's the goal of this program. I think so many of the centers, it's often a question of funding, just as so many things about how long they're able to provide these services, with the mothers and walking through the services. And Kim Lyons, she filled out a card, but she's with the Sinlaw Pregnancy Center in Alexandria, and I know she can share also her services as well.
Thank you, Ben. My name is Kim Lyons. I live in Alexandria, Louisiana. I represent Sinlaw Pregnancy Center in Alexandria and also our 2 satellite centers. We have one in Marksville in Avoyles Parish. We also have one in Vidalia, our Miss Lou Center, that is our most recent satellite center that we opened. We have served over 1,700 women in the little 6 years that we've been in service, and over 25,000 services provided and referrals. And to your point about the daycare daycare. I just want to share a recent story of a client of ours who has a 7-month-old. She works nights at our local hospital. She has very little family support. And in the journey with her, we were able to connect her to one of our faith-based programs. And one of those faith-based programs has been providing childcare for her so that she can go back to school. Because we know that those are the types of situations that in order for us to see successful growth in our families and successful growth for our community, there are opportunities for us to step in and fill the gap. And providing those daycares, we're also very, very preliminarily partnering with an organization for grant funding for scholarships for childcare in the daycare setting, not scholarships for college. That's to come. But because we know the importance of allowing these moms to continue down the path of a career and to continue down the path of making sure that they can equip their children for the future, we need to equip them now. And so these funds will continue to help us and our infancy of our 3 pregnancy centers come to light in a new way, in a not a new way, but more intense way for the women in our community. They rely on us, and we look at so many sets of data, and when we look at what do these moms need, a lot of times getting into their physician practice office is not the quickest thing. And sometimes being able to come to us and we get to fill the gap in those very early moments and build those relationships with them for us and our center for up to that 2-year mark. And I'm going to tell you, that mom that we're seeing, her beautiful 7-month-old came for a photo shoot at our center yesterday, and we got to witness the love of this mom. She went home and brought her baby to the lady from the church, that's Embrace Grace program that their church has adopted, so that they could keep her so the mom could go rest for a few hours before she went to work. And those are the stories, and those are the moments, and those are the clients and the babies that we get to watch grow up, and we hopefully get to watch this beautiful baby girl grow up to be a thriving member of our society. And I'm just honored to be able to say that I get to be a part, just kind of on the outskirts of witnessing this journey. So thank you so very much.
Thank you. Representative Baralt is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate so very much what you do. And I just kind of want to add on one of the things that we briefly touched on, which is the infant mortality rate and maternal mortality rate. In my very short time here at the Capitol, we've had a lot of conversations about just where we are in Louisiana in terms of those statistics. And one of the things that continually comes up is that the women are not going back to the doctor after delivery. And I think it's just so important that there are relationships built and support to, number one, educate, but also to encourage them to follow up with care after the fact, because a lot of the statistics are pointing out that it's lack of care after the fact. They think once the baby's here, all is well, and it clearly is not. So thank you. I truly appreciate that, and that's a big need in addition to all the other needs.
Can
So
I speak
thank
to
you.
that for a
Absolutely.
moment? So we see that not only in the infant mortality, but also just along the lines of the postpartum depression season of life that occurs. And I have not done the research on the correlation between those two, but there is correlation. And a lot of times, if those moms are not following through with their physician appointments, we incentivize that plan. We encourage them. Not only do we encourage them, but they earn points to be able to be a part of our program by going to those follow-up appointments, taking their child for their well visits after that child is born. We as a center are incentivizing those encounters because we know that that's all part of making sure that we have a healthy baby and a healthy mama. And a healthy baby and a healthy mama are going to be a part of what reduces those infant mortality rates.
I love that. Thank you very much. That's
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you. The board is clear.